Hello there. This particular Ian Fleming James Bond novel, Moonraker, is number three in the actual novel series. It's probably my favourite of Ian Fleming's novels of the James Bond sort of franchise. I'm talking novels, not films, obviously, but this was very unusual. The heroine in the novel, is very unusual, and it's all set in 1953. So your mind sets on a completely different setting to the way you look at it as you do in films. So you're in a 1953 Great Britain. He doesn't go to any exotic locations abroad. It's all set between London, where he meets them, and the Kent coastline, roughly between Dover and is it Folkestone, along that little area somewhere. There's this complex owned by Sir Hugo Drax, and he's building a great big missile for the United Kingdom, and it's got a 1,000-mile range in 1953, which means it can reach Moscow. M is not too sure about Sir Hugo Drax, who's this sort of like big entrepreneur character there, and he's got films around for when he presents this missile where they're going to fire it into the North Sea, a dud one into the North Sea as a demonstration, and it's all going to be televised and all that. But beforehand, James Bond gets into this complex along this Kent coastline and meets this heroine, this lady here, who's gonna. There's a chemistry between them, but she is the most unusual of all the Bond ladies. I'm not going to put a spoiler in, but if you ever read the story, you will know why. He's driving around in a Bentley with spoked wheels, similar to the Bentley that John Steed drives in the Avengers. I think the Avengers, when they had the Emma Peel phase, and he drove around in that open top racing green Bentley with the spoke wheels, I think they'd got that idea from the first Ian Fleming novels, and it's obviously in this story in a chase up the M2 in Sir Hugo Drax against Sir Hugo Drax in this open top Mercedes. Bond's sort of pursuing him in his 1929 Bentley. I don't know what all the other numbers are, but it's a right piece of work. And even in 1952, it's probably quite old, but it's his pride and joy. Anyway, with that aside, this is a real fun read. My most favourite of all the James Bond stories. They're all good, but this one's a little bit special. So if ever you get the opportunity, read Ian Fleming's Moonraker, an absolute peach of a read.